And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, friends of traders. Welcome to Market Recap. I'm Dan Hodgman. It is Tuesday, August 24th. And after yesterday's big up day in the equity markets today, we had what I like to call a little bit of a hangover day. Equity markets stayed inside, but that's not the case for all markets. Crude oil continues its rally that it's been on here the last few days, ever since breaking out of that downside channel. Gold, similar to equities, gold had the big up move yesterday and has been sideways all day today here. And then the yield, slow it down here. The euro opened up. We had a nice little pop off the open, returned back to settlement price, floated around there most of the day. And this afternoon, we've seen a little bit of a pop there again towards those regular trading hour highs, but not quite there. And the 10-year note, we'll take a look at this one, works its way down to yesterday's value area low, holds there for a little bit, finally breaks through and goes and checks yesterday's regular trading hour low, which is where it looks like we're going to be ending up here to end the day. But across the board, there was some opportunity. Wasn't quite like yesterday. I would look at these markets here today. Crude oil maintaining trend, so we're looking to continue to trade with trend. Equities opened up this morning, proved us they wanted to stay inside right off the bat. They popped right to those overnight highs, and from there, they stayed inside all day long. And when I say inside, they were extremely tight days, tight ranges here today in those markets. And the same principle applies for that gold market. So we'll take a look at those here in just a moment. But other than that, there's been a relatively quiet day. Meme stocks are kind of back, and that's the talk of what's going on. We'll take a look at it in a little bit, but things like GameStop up about 30% here today. Pretty incredible. Other than that, COVID's the talk. We'll continue to keep an eye on that one. We got to continue to keep an eye on everything going on in the Middle East with Afghanistan there. I know there's been a lot of talk out of the White House with that one. So make sure you're just paying attention to that stuff. It's going to be important, I think, over time. But always remember, how can it affect the markets in the U.S.? How is it going to affect those? Do I allow what I'm reading about going on over there affect my thought process around my trading and what's going to happen with these markets? And right, no matter what the thought is, you got to make sure that if you're going to trade to it, it's going to affect the economic situation of the United States. And that's going to be important to pay attention to. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at these charts here in just a moment. I want to say hello to everyone, and then we'll go from there. Ricardo, good to see you there. Green day feels better than after a red day yesterday. Absolutely, green days always feel good. Bill, good to see you. Brian, Tanya, George, and PD, good to see all of you guys. By the way, if you didn't catch us earlier, Coach's Playbook today, we talked about day in the life of a day trader. We talked a little bit about routine and things that the advantages of being a day trader. Also, Tanya, we talked about you and that routine that you talked about when you sat down and did that interview with me. So make sure you guys check it out and how important that stuff is as a trader. All right, let's go take a look at these charts and we'll go from there. As always, we're going to start with our crude oil market. 1 second. Adjust my mouse here. There we go. Where is it at? There we go. All right, crude oil. Crude oil, beautiful trend to the upside. And yesterday, here's what we talked about this. I think it was when we were looking at the euro. What we want to do when a market is trending. Why isn't this working? Grab a line. Mark the chart. When a market is in a trend to the upside, one of the biggest things we want to pay attention to is wait for that market to come work to the low side of the channel. Yesterday, we saw the big pop off the low side of the channel, and we rallied right up to that unchecked point of control. Market rotated back inside, and we got a little bit choppy, and we saw some sell-off, right? So there's a lot of times we start to see these pops, and this is where it attracts traders. This is where people get excited to hop into a trade. Well, this is where, as a veteran trader, someone that's been doing this for a while, you got to start to recognize when a market is directional, we need to avoid the big pops. We need to look for those returns, those places where the market falls back into line. It comes down to a low side of a channel. Using moving averages, those short time frame moving averages will help you. I'm a big proponent of watching and just drawing a simple line to remind myself where that market may be going. So, market opened up this morning right on the low side of that channel. What does that tell us? Well, if I believe that this market is going to maintain trend to the upside, this is a great opportunity to look for a long to continue with trend. And that's exactly what we got here today. Market continued to rally higher, marking new highs that we haven't seen in a little bit. And that's a good opportunity. Now you can even bring things a little bit tighter throughout the day. When you're looking at this on a daytime frame, where are my chances? Well, we start to look at it a little bit tighter. And every time the market comes down and checks the low side of the channel, those are going to be opportunities for us to try and take advantage of trend. And that's really what you want to be thinking about when markets get directional. We saw it yesterday in the equity markets. We saw this over the last couple of days now here in the crude oil market. And that's one of the big things I cannot stress enough. When the market is directional, avoid the pops. Avoid those quick moves. I know FOMO's coming into play and you want to be a part of it. Well, that is going to be detrimental because that's when it's going, I hear too often, it's hunting my stops. Market's directional. I had the direction right, but I kept getting stopped out. And I tend to find out those people that are taking those trades are buying those highs. And they think it's okay, market's going to move in this direction. Well, we want to wait for it to pull back. We want to wait for it to come down and check low sides of channels for us to find our opportunity to take advantage of trend. All right, next, let's look at these equity markets. There's not a lot to talk about, on all honesty. This is a really tight day here. Plain and simple, especially when you got value area high today up at 86 with value area low. Down at 81, you got a 5-handle range here in this market for the most part when we're looking at value area. I don't have a whole lot to say. Market opened up, and we defined our top twice here today up at 88. To me, that's what we're watching. If you can catch, you're trading off 88s right now. That's what we had here all day long. When market is trading within a 5-handle range, there's not a whole lot to say. We came and we checked overnight lows. We failed to make it to the overnight highs, but when we look at the NASDAQ market, we actually had opportunity right off those overnight highs. That's what we're looking here off this open. There was a great opportunity for short. See this thing rotate down towards yesterday's value area high, which happens to be today's value area low. I'm not going to sit here and spend a ton of time looking at this. Once the market gets inside like this, it's our job to define the channel, and we want to fade those extremes. This is where you can make really good money if you can find and define that extreme relatively quickly. For me, all day long, trading off of the 340 in this NASDAQ market was a good opportunity. It came and checked it multiple times. We saw great bounces off it. If you can catch those bounces, if you can start to define those levels as you watch this thing throughout the day, you're going to find opportunity. But if you're looking for too big, if you're expecting yesterday's move to come into play again here today, that's where you're going to get in a little bit of trouble. So my big thing is I like to define my range. I want to look at these markets. I want to define ranges right off the bat. And I usually am just using simple levels that we talk about all the time. Overnight highs, points of control, prior day value areas. Those are things that I'm going to pay attention to. That's where I'm looking to help define some sort of range. And what happens to be yesterday's value area high? 337. Well, what was the level that I talked about that I kept hitting all day? 340. Strictly based off of what I saw market reacting, and I got a value area level from a value area high from yesterday. Great area to look for an opportunity. All right, next we'll look at gold. Like I said, gold wasn't doing a whole lot either here after its volatile open. After the equity market opened up, after John spoke with you guys, we came and checked. Consolidation from the overnight session didn't make it all the way to the low, but we got pretty darn close, about $1 away from overnight low. Rallied right back up towards, yesterday's point of control to yesterday's value area high was where this market was range bound or traded within all day after that equity open. Very tight trade here. This market's been extremely volatile off the open. I can't stress that one enough. So be prepared if you're trading off the from gold open to equity open. Be cautious. Yeah, gold open to equity open. Be cautious in this market. If it goes against you, take that loss pretty quickly. Let it recover. Let it get back into something a little bit more realistic for yourself. Then take that next trade. But don't feel like you got to jump in on every single move. Because what have we seen here the last few days, or for a while now? We've been seeing these extremely volatile first 1.5 to 2 hours with this gold market, and then falling into some sort of tight channel. Look for those lows, define where those extremes are. Where's this market going to run to that I can find an opportunity? Is it going to be an overnight low area where we can look for a chance? I don't think this is a bad look down below. If we can see this market kind of start to come towards some consolidation, which we saw this market really consolidate pretty well right around 1804 here. If I'm looking at 1804, I got overnight low at 1802.60. Okay, there's $1.40 in risk there. I want to put my stop probably a little bit lower than that even. I'm going to probably bring it down on the other side of yesterday's value area. To me, if that's a trade we're looking at, that's a great opportunity there to see if we can get this market to recover back inside and run back up and check possibly points of control, value areas. There's some good opportunity there. Oh man, out of nowhere, we were sunny and 90 degrees here. Now it's thunder and lightning outside. Next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. Just like the equity open, the euro open was just as, gold was off the open, euro was just as volatile. This market yesterday, we kind of fell out of yesterday's channel. We got sideways in the overnight session. It's trying to maintain trend to the upside. We're failing here towards the end of the day to mark new highs, but really the same thing here. Market opens up, breaks down to point of control from yesterday, rallies right back up, makes a nice little move to the upside, but this thing is still hesitant, right? When we got equity sitting sideways, we've got gold sitting sideways, and you've got the 10-year note selling off. These currency markets, they're going to be a little hesitant. That market stays inside for the most part, other than the pop we had right around 9:30, 10:30 this morning. We had a nice little pop market, rotated right back inside. And to me, same thing's applying here. Looking at point of control of yesterday's value area high. I sound like a broken record. We continue to talk about this. These are areas that we can really look for great opportunity. All right, next, let's look at the 10-year note. Now, 10-year note, not always has it given us some great setups, but today it did. It opened up at yesterday's point of control, which was one tick off of yesterday's value area high. When we got the two lining up like that, that's where we are going to find opportunity. We can take the short off the open. Where are we looking for that short to run? Truthfully, I'm going to start by looking to see if it'll run to yesterday's value area low. I'm going to watch how the market reacts at value area low to determine if I can come check overnight lows. Well, market moves right through overnight low, holds up a little bit, so it gives you a chance to take the short if you missed the short off the open, and continues lower. We checked and moved right through overnight low, and we moved right down to the freaking tick yesterday's regular or overnight low. Those swing lows, we want to continue to pay attention to them. So now we've got 1, 2, and 3 swing lows down here at 33.30. 133.30 is going to be an interesting level to continue to keep an eye on. We'll see if this market holds above or if we can get some acceptance below for this Treasury market to continue moving lower. Those are our markets here today, though. I hope you guys have all had some good opportunities. And again, it's only Tuesday, so we got a long week ahead of us. I'm going to be out here the next couple of days, so John will be filling in for me on the market recap. So make sure you guys give him a good heckle for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. So first off, let's just take a quick glance at Bitcoin. Bitcoin trading 48,220, so still holding up there. Can't get back up above 50,000. We'll see if it finally makes it there. We've also got our meme stocks, but first we'll take a look at Airbnb, which got the pop we need. Remember, we're long that 148 at the first of the year. Finally, back in the money over there at $161.42. We got AMC, got the pop, $44.26, and GameStop up 30% or $45, $210.29. Now, I am not your financial advisor. But if you are one of those people that is long GameStop from 40, take the money and freaking run. This is incredible. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not giving any input, but man, I just can't get over how this thing's made it back up above 200 again. Next, we've got Tesla. Holding steady above 700, rallies up to about 715, breaks back down. We're ending the day at 704. Robinhood, nice trade, nice trend, nice directional move here today from lower left to top right, going from $46 up to just shy of $50 a share. And lastly, VIX, well, no surprise, VIX is pretty quiet, trading at 17.18. So that's what we got going on there. Really quick, we're going to take a look. Tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Central Time, durable goods and EIA petroleum status report, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. And then coming up throughout this week, the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium's going on. You got GDP, jobless claims, and looks like Powell will be speaking on Friday. So last but not least, we'll get to this date in history, and I'll let you guys get on out of here. First and foremost, 79 AD. We probably all read in our history books as kids, and maybe if you were lucky enough, you got to go visit this the site of Pompeii. But Mount Vesuvius erupted back in 79 AD. If you ever get a chance to go experience that place, I highly recommend it. It is quite an incredible feeling to go check that out. All right, other than that, I think I've got one more. I thought I did. Apparently I don't. All right, everybody, that's what I got for this date in history. Like I said, John will be covering for me the next couple of days here in the recap. So thank you for tuning in. And until then, John will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time with the market forecast. So stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. Look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.